has already signed another Nigerian, Tayo Awoniyi, during this transfer window and is looking to add Dennis to their squad. Dennis scored 10 goals and recorded 6 assists in 33 league appearances for Watford last season. In another development, the former Belgian Pro League champions has beaten West Ham to sign in the German-Nigerian defender. 2015 Belgian Jupiler League winners KA Agents have announced the signing of Jordan Torrehinga from Hertha Berlin on a permanent deal. Premier League side West Ham were also reportedly interested in Torrehinga, but Gent has won the race to the former Germany under-21 international. The player initially joined Gent on loan in January, featuring in 15 matches and helping the Buffaloes win the Belgian Cup. Sanusi Shaib Musa, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com. Welcome back. You still listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The House of Representatives has resolved to invite the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to explain alleged irregularities in employment process in the agency. The resolution was sequel to a unanimous adoption of a motion by Representative P. Oseke of Bayelsa at the plenary today. Oseke said that TCN is in the process of concluding a recruitment exercise in which over 400 applicants have been favorably considered. According to him, only a few of such successful applicants are from Bayelsa, despite the very many eligibly qualified applicants from the said state. The lawmaker said that considering the youth's restiveness on account of mass unemployment, such act of alleged bias and uneven distribution of opportunities could negatively impact on unethical conducts perpetrated by youth of the state. He said that the House should equally make a case for all other states of the Federation that have been marginalized. In his ruling, the Deputy Speaker, Ahmed Wase, mandated the Committees on Federal Character and Public Service Matters to invite the head of service of the Federation and the managing director of TCN. He said that the officials should be made to explain the rationale for the marginalization of some states in an ongoing recruitment exercise. On this day in 1969, the Eagle lunar landing module carrying United States astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin landed on the moon, and several hours later, Armstrong became the first person to set foot on its surface. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi has more on other historical events.
On this day in 2002, a huge fire broke out at the Chevron Texaco's main oil terminal. This after an armed village woman ended a 10-day siege that crippled the oil gang's local operations. The blaze at the multi-million-dollar Escravos terminal in southeastern Nigeria was ignited by a bolt of lightning during an early morning storm. The lightning set fire to a storage tank containing about 180,000 barrels of crude oil. The company noted that about 80,000 barrels were pumped out of the burning tank. Also on this day in 2002, dozens of villagers were killed. Many hacked to death in 3 days of clashes between rival political factions battle for influence in an oil-rich area of the Niger Delta. According to the history, on July 20th in 2007, President George Bush signed an executive order prohibited cruel and inhuman treatment, including humiliation or denigration of religious beliefs, in the detention and the interrogation of terrorism suspects. In 1944, an attempt by a group of German officials to assassinate Adolf Hitler with a bomb failed as the explosion only wounded the Nazi leader. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was nominated for a fourth term of office at the Democratic Convention in Chicago. Muhammad Abba Abdullahi, Freedom Radio.
And on business, we have Abdurrahman Hamis Namadina with updates.
As a move to forestall backlash and total shutdown of airline operations in the country, the Airline Operators of Nigeria AON has called for the immediate removal of 5% fuel surcharge collected by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority NCAA. The airline's body lamented that the rise in aviation fuel has greatly increased their operational cost to over 130%, adding that the need to remove the fuel surcharge could not be overemphasized. But NCAA spokesperson Mr. Sam Adroboye, in a swift reaction, said that there was a misconception about the fuel surcharge, saying it was not limited to the regulatory agency but the federal government coffers. However, later cited the AON President Abdul Manaf Yunusa and addressed to the Director General NCAA, Captain Musa, who said the price has raised from 200 per litre in February 2022 to over 780 naira today. This has greatly increased the operational cost of airlines by well over 130%, yet airlines are unable to increase fares and as well suffer from the unavailability of foreign exchange to conduct their operations. Meanwhile, the Governor Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, said that the bank paid eligible exporters over 20 billion naira rebates in the second quarter of implementing the RT200 FX program for exports worth $600 million. He described this during a press briefing after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting yesterday in Lagos. Emefiele said they delighted the raise of 200 billion naira is yielding good result under RT200 program because they have received inflow as at June this year of over $2.2 billion. At Berdashan's today, $1 traded for 640 naira, €1 for 652 naira, 1 British pound traded for 778 naira, while Saudi Riyal traded for 170 naira. Abdulrahman Hamis Namadina, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan today said he still hoped to host Russia and Ukraine for discussions this week on easing a global food crisis caused by blocked Black Sea grain. Mamatan Uba reports.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's comments came less than a day after Russian President Vladimir Putin set an unexpected new condition for resuming the deliveries. Up to 25 million tons of wheat and other grain have been blocked in Ukrainian ports by Russian warships, and landmines Kyiv has led to avert a Fiat amphibious assault. The first direct talks between the site's military delegations since March, attended in Istanbul last week by Turkish and UN officials, came up with an initial draft for resolving the impasse. The sides had been expected to meet in Istanbul again this week for a second round of talks that both Turkish and UN officials had hoped could produce a final deal. But Putin yesterday said that Russia would only ease the pass for Ukrainian grain export if the West lifted sanctions on Russia's own shipments. Erdogan told reporters after meeting Putin on the sidelines of a summit in Tehran that he remained hopeful about an agreement. Meanwhile, the European Commission has urged countries across the bloc to cut their gas use by 15% from August to March amid fears Russia could halt supplies. It said the target is voluntary but will become legally binding if Moscow turns off the taps this summer. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that it was not clear whether or in what condition a turbine from the pipeline will be returned in after repairs in Canada. Russia supplied Europe with 40% of its natural gas last year, with Germany the continent's largest importer in 2020, followed by Italy. Muhammad Sanuba, Freedom Radio.
And with this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.
This is Freedom.